Time now for French Connections, our weekly look at the intricacies of life here in France. And Florence Villeneuve is here with me. Hi, Flo. Now, today we're going to talk about something the French are envied for the world over, particularly at this time of year, and that is their holidays, les vacances, or vacation, as you say. And friends of mine abroad often joke about the fact that they say I have too much holiday.
Well, it seems like French people are on vacation all the time because the truth is, compared to other countries, France is very generous when it comes to paid time off. Employees get a minimum of 30 paid days off a year, and it can be a lot more depending on the job you do. Now, as you can see, it's more than other EU countries and way more than other OECD countries. You can see Japan and Canada, they get 10 days of paid vacation a year. And let's not even talk about the United States. You can see it here, 0. The United States is the only industrialized country where employers are not required to provide paid vacation. Now, that doesn't mean that people don't go on holiday. On average, people take off 2 weeks a year, but it's not guaranteed.
Now, when does France's generous paid holiday system date back to?
Well, the congés payés, as they're called, were voted into law. That was in June of 1936. It was an initiative of the Front Populaire, which is at the time was a coalition of left-wing parties that was led by Léon Blum. Now, at the time, employees were granted 2 weeks off of annual leave, and it was a real victory for the working class, a cultural revolution in many ways. A democratization of vacation, free time, and tourism. And in the 1950s, it went up to 3 weeks, 4 weeks in the 1960s, and ultimately 5 weeks in the 1980s. Now, keep in mind that there are also 11 bank holidays in France, so foreigners working in France sometimes say they have way too much time off. They don't actually know what to do with it.
There's no such thing as too much time off in my book, but anyway. Now, it's at this time of year, July and August, that French people tend to take a good chunk of their holiday, but some parts of the country find themselves a lot quieter than usual.
That's right. Some people say that the country kind of shuts down during July and August, and people like to joke that the best time to come to Paris, for instance, is during July and August because there are no Parisians. And I must say it's really nice, very nice to be here. The downside, though, is that your favorite bakery might be closed, so you might have to walk a while for a good baguette. Now, if you are Parisian spending time in the city, don't worry. The beach will come to you. There are plenty of activities, including something called Paris Plage, which is a big artificial beach that's set up in several parts of the city with all sorts of fun activities. You can definitely get a tan in the city. Now, for those lucky enough to leave, to go on vacation, there are 2 schools in France. People who leave in July and people who leave in August. And there are actually words for these rival schools, and let's take a look at them. They are words du jour. You have the Juliettistes, people who go away during the month of July, and les Aoussiens, which are people who go away during the month of August. And whichever one you are really says a lot about you. It can say something about your personality.
I won't tell you which one I am. Now, there's also a special term for that one weekend when the Juilletistes are coming home and the Aoussiens are leaving.
That's right. It's our expression du jour. There are so many vacation expressions. It's called the Chassis Quasi. Now, the Chassis Quasi was traditionally a dance move, but it actually refers to this very busy weekend, that time of the year in transport when millions of people are taking trains, planes, or of course in their cars, and France becomes this huge traffic jam. It's a mess, and we talk about it in the media.
And now, here in France, a holiday, it really means holiday, and that's in the law.
That's right. Now, there's something called the droit à la déconnexion, the right to disconnect, and it's actually been a part of the labor code since 2017. Now, people working for companies with more than 50 employers, basically they have a right to not check their work email or their work phone outside of office hours, so during the weekend or, of course, on vacation. And that means that when French people are on vacation, they're really on vacation. They're not taking their work with them. So what do French people like to do on vacation? Well, nothing. In fact, French people love to use an Italian expression, far niente, which means basically not to do anything. They just like to live life, do all the things that they can't do during the year, relax, take advantage of the small things in life, a good book, a good conversation, essentially resting.
I put my phone away, haven't checked it in 24 hours. Feels great.
It's a way to escape. Your mind wanders. It's so good. You sleep well and you relax.
It's a moment of peace, relaxation, tranquility. You really recharge your batteries being close to nature.
Every day we come to the beach at 9. It's so nice to be at the beach. Beats being in the office.
We really let go during vacation. The year is so stressful with school, the kids need a break.
Now, indeed, the kids might need a break, but not all of them get a total break, do they?
That's right. There's something called a cahier de vacances. It's summer homework. And Claire, I hear that you had to do this when you were a kid.
Oh, I remember those very well.
So an estimated 4.5 million kids are forced to slave away doing this traditional cahier de vacances. You can see it here. It's basically a bunch of exercises to keep up to speed with your school during the summer. It's a booklet that corresponds to each grade. There are all sorts of different ones of them. It's an institution in France. It's been around since the 1930s, though opinions are a little bit divided as to how useful they are. Take a listen.
It's a good way to review things they've done in school. All the while having fun. There are exercises, of course, but also games.
I buy them every year, but it doesn't mean they get done. Like a lot of parents, we buy them, the kids get through half, and move on.
It was horrible. It used to cause huge fights in the family.
Especially the math exercises. Horrible. It used to end in tears.
Vacation is about having fun. As an adult, you have less vacation, so kids should make the most of it.
Now, Flo, a question I get asked a lot is, if the French are on holiday all the time, how does that affect productivity?
Well, a lot of people say that if, the economy is a little bit slow in France, it might be because people are on vacation all the time. But it's not likely to change anytime soon, because French people, though they're not the only ones in the world to go on vacation, they certainly are very attached to their vacation. Many see it as a human right. It's something that they fought tooth and nail to get in the 1930s, and so they will defend it tooth and nail. And in fact, a lot of people argue that there is a social utility to going on vacation because a well-rested worker is a productive worker. And the truth is, French productivity is quite high compared to the rest of the world.
Well, I, for one, agree that a break is always a good thing. Thank you very much, Flo. That's all we have time for, but do send Flo your tweet at Flo Vilmino, and also check out our website, France24.com.